Hello, this is Ola, your host on The Unpolished Mom, your weekly podcast on all things parenthood, languages and real life struggles. I'm really honoured you've decided to listen to me today, so let's begin. Hi everyone and welcome to the third episode of The Unpolished Mom. I'm really honoured that you've decided to come here again and listen to me. I appreciate all your likes, shares and ratings. By the way, did you know that you can leave a rating in Apple Podcasts app under every episode? So if you like it, that would really mean a lot. Thanks again. So guys, as promised, today I'm going to talk about females in my life and my attitude towards other women, basically. So guys, I've always felt that I was a little bit of a different type of a girl. I've always thought that possibly girls are something worse. I was a bit of a misogynist, possibly a bit of a sexist. It doesn't mean that I thought that men are better. I just had a very low opinion on women. And I can't really pinpoint when it started, but there are a few things in my life that point in the direction of, you kind of really hated women, or at least had a problem with them. So I did have a few female friendships growing up, but none of them basically, apart from one really, survived. I pushed a lot of women away. I thought I was trying to make excuses and saying that, I didn't have time to, just keep the relationship going, just to look after it, just be in touch. But to be honest, it was, there were situations when I could, but I didn't want to keep in touch with those people. So that was one of those things. Then on my BA dissertation and my MA dissertation, I kind of touched on feminist topics. So in my BA, I wrote about the role of the Women's Party on the Polish political scene. I studied political sciences on my BA, by the way. And it was a very mediocre, or I would say awful, attempt to kind of prove that this party has no chance of survival on the Polish scene, which is kind of true, but for other reasons. So I remember telling other people that I was writing about the Polish Women's Party from the perspective of an anti-feminist. I actually said those words. Jesus, please forgive me. So that was just another situation in which I was trying to depreciate women for some weird reason. Then there was my MA dissertation. That was when I was studying education and teaching languages, or teaching English specifically. And my dissertation was on the perception of women as teachers. And I did have this hypothesis that was that women are perceived as worse as teachers, that men are those, fascinating, exciting figures for students, especially primary and secondary age school kids, which obviously was, my whole research proved it wrong. But when I think of it now, I really don't know why I would think that it would be the other way around. So I do have a few theories around why I kind of had that attitude. And it probably is rooted somewhere in my childhood, but also in what kind of person I am. So I've heard many times that there is a lot of male energy in me, that I am quite manly. I do behave in a lot of ways that might remind a few people of a man. I'm quite decisive, quite opinionated, quite, impulsive. I've actually had some hormonal tests done, and I do have very high testosterone levels. So, that could be just as simple as that. Also, even in my relationship, I tend to be the one who makes the decisions. I am the driver at home. So, all those things that are very stereotypically and typically associated with men. So that's who I am, which, by the way, I don't have any problem with. I don't think it's bad, but I'm just trying to understand how and where that whole attitude towards other females came from. And another thing is my childhood. So I grew up without my parents, but let's not focus on my dad. Let's focus on my mum. So the circumstances of me coming along to this world were quite difficult. It was 1989, the year of big changes. It was the year that the communism ended in Poland. That's how I try and explain it to myself. And I was born as an unplanned child. My parents were both 18 or 19 when I was born. They then got pulled into some sort of a religious cult, a sect. And after years, 4 or 5 years of it being a very complicated situation, they basically gave me up. So I did see a paper that said that my mum gave up parental rights to me. So that's something that cannot just not change you. I think when I found out about the fact that she willingly gave up rights to me, was just like the final straw. But the fact that she wasn't there and there wasn't really any other strong female figure that could be a role model for me when I was growing up was probably the reason, was probably the worst. It's probably what shaped me the way I am. So I do admit that I'm this kind of person who believes very strongly that they have to count on themselves, that they have to organize their whole life for themselves. I'm a bit of a control freak. I really like to have things planned. So I always wonder if this subconscious hatred, maybe that's too strong of a word, but definitely disliking of some other females is caused by that. If there were some other females, some women in my family, they didn't really have that much of a strong effect on me. So I wonder if that's where it came from. I always associated kind of being a girl, or especially when I was a teenager, with drama, gossiping, competition, but like unhealthy competition. Like obviously I never experienced that when it comes to my mother. But I wonder if it's something on a subconscious level. I also thought about language here. So I never call my mom a mom. I would always say a mother. And even in Polish, it probably sounds even more harsh, which is also another interesting thing. So the first person I ever called a mum was my mother-in-law. So as obviously lots of you know, my Polish listeners, in Polish there is this tradition that your mother-in-law would often ask, or it's just a done thing, that you would call them mum. And for me, it was perfectly natural. I was actually honored when she offered that I could call her mum, because I genuinely have a fantastic relationship with my mother-in-law. I admire her for one thing, and I think it's her best achievement in her life. It's how she raised her son and my husband. He is a wonderful human being, and it just proves to me it is possible. So thanks to her, I know it is possible, and I am on a mission to raise my son as best as I can. So I'm very glad, I'm very proud that I eventually got to experience that sort of a motherly figure in my life. And actually, so it was the UK's Mother's Day yesterday, and I saw a little picture, a little meme that said, Happy Mother's Day to whoever your motherly figure is. And yeah, if I had to choose, that would definitely be my mother-in-law. There was no other woman who had such a mother-like impact on me. She's caring, she loves me, she calls me her daughter. So that's amazing. I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, and actually I've only noticed that when I became a mom. So I think that giving birth and becoming a mother was some sort of a wake-up call or a turning point for me. I realized that while, yes, some women are probably represent something that I will always resent in a way, but I actually understood that women are special. I know it may sound trivial, but being pregnant, giving birth, and caring for a baby are just super important things to do. And motherly instinct is a thing, and I experienced that only recently, so hence the whole realization. And that's when I also understood that I need to have more women that I can look up to in my life. So the first realization came with appreciating my mother-in-law. But then I started appreciating my friends. So I don't have any siblings. I don't know if I wish I had. Probably not. I'm okay. But the friends I've got, I still do realize that I'm the odd one. I'm probably not like other girls. But it doesn't make me cool. It doesn't make me better. Because, the other girls, I just realized that very often they are quite amazing. That they teach me new things every day. So I'm lucky enough to, among my friends, to have people who are so completely different from me. They are the artistic souls, while I have nothing to do with anything artistic. They are introverts, while I'm the extrovert. They are patient, while, I'm impulsive and impatient.